Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica and this is my journal chronicle, if you will, of living with chronic illness. I did just do a video. I filmed it a little over a week ago. I think it just went up when I'm recording this particular video. It just went up earlier in the day. I'm not sure when I'm going to put this one up, but I don't know if I mentioned in that video that I was getting an MRI done, which I had done today. Oh my goodness. I was unprepared. If y'all have ever done an MRI, it is scary. It is scary. I never thought I was claustrophobic, and I was fine for about the first 3 minutes of getting my MRI. And yeah, I panicked. I literally had a panic attack, and I was squeezing the ball for all it was worth, trying to get out of there, like, please let me out. And they did pull me out. I will give them credit. It probably took them a good 20 or 30 seconds to get me out of there, but I was freaking out. I was absolutely freaking out. I wasn't sure what to expect from an MRI. I mean, I know it's in a thing and you have to go in it. I didn't realize how small that was. And I'm not a tiny person. I'm not a tiny person at all. I'm 5 feet 8 inches. I'm not like super huge, but I'm not tiny either. And I don't know, I just felt like I was shoehorned into that little thing. Whew. Let me tell you, if you're going to do an MRI, don't open your eyes. Just don't even do it. Trust me on that. Just don't open your eyes. So you may be wondering why I went and had an MRI done. I might have mentioned that I had spinal x-rays in the first video. I don't remember what I said in that video, to be quite honest with you. My brain is absolute mush lately. But I had x-rays done on my spine because I do have a lot of back pain. And I was diagnosed with AS, or ankylosing spondylitis. Well, I'm a gene carrier. I don't necessarily have it. And they can't tell a whole lot on an x-ray, so they wanted to do an MRI to get a better look, to see like what's going on, especially in the, and I'm gonna mangle this, the sacroiliac joints, which is like your very lower spine, your coccyx, and I can't even say that properly, your hips and stuff like that, because that's where it like starts and then gets worse from there. So they couldn't see a whole lot on the x-ray, though they did tell me, and I am sure I forgot to mention this in the first video, that they found that I have mild scoliosis in my lower back, which I've never had before. So I don't know how that happened. I don't know if like you can be perfectly fine and then get scoliosis. They said it was concave to the right, and I did look at my films on that. Yeah, my spine like starts and then goes like that. It's weird. So it's like side to side, where like I've known people with scoliosis and it's like a front to back, or just like hunched over, that kind. But nope, mine is kind of wonky. But I mean, I'm a wonky person, so I mean, I guess it makes sense that things in my body go wonky. But I was joking with some friends the other day. I'm like, would I have been taller if I didn't have that in my spine? Who knows? You know, 5'8" is pretty tall for a girl, but I would be okay with being 5'9". Just, you know, get on a stretcher. Can we stretch my spine out? I don't think that works that way. But anyway, back to the MRI. So they wanted to do the MRI to see if I have AS, like if it started. I'm sure that there's certain things that they look for, measurements that they look for to see if it's present, if it is like definitely started, if there is, you know, signs that it might be starting. I'm sure there's like technical stuff with that. I don't understand any of it. I know my doctor, she's amazing, and she is going to tell me. Like, I know if I ask any kind of question, she's going to answer it, and answer it honestly for me. So I will have that appointment in about 3.5 weeks. By the time this goes up, it'll be probably around 3 weeks. But so I will keep you guys updated on that. And I have to say, the response to my first video, like, I can't even thank you guys enough. It makes me feel so loved that a bunch of people watched my video and commented on it. And I really appreciate it. It's making this otherwise difficult journey a lot easier. it makes me feel like I'm not alone in this, which is kind of cool. And I'm hoping that if anyone that has issues, whether it's what I have or not, I hope this helps other people feel like they aren't alone, because chronic illness, silent illness, invisible illness, whatever you want to call it, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. And if you don't deal with it or don't have a loved one that deals with it, a lot of people just don't understand it. And it's kind of like people that have really bad allergies or something. Someone that's never been allergic to anything in their life can't understand having asthma or allergies or anything like that. And it's kind of cool knowing that people actually care. And I've had some people in the comments tell me, that they're dealing with certain things. And, my heart goes out to you. It truly, honestly does. And I hope and pray that anyone that is watching this that has a silent illness, a chronic illness, chronic pain, I pray that you find some relief. I know that many things don't have a cure, but you know what? Sometimes keeping that positive attitude and knowing that you're heard and you're seen can make all of the difference in the world. So anyway, getting back to my MRI, I will hopefully have some results by my next appointment, which, like I said, is in about 3.5 weeks. And maybe we'll have a course of action of what I can do with certain things. I am starting to get used to the gabapentin. I don't like it because it makes me feel a little spacey. And the reason I seem a little more lucid right now is because I haven't taken it since... I haven't taken it at all today, now that I think about it, which explains the tingling and burning that I have on my back right now, because it's a thing apparently. Yeah, I wanted to touch base with you guys on what has happened. And again, like I said, I'm chronicling this for myself to look back on, and chronicling for my kids so they can look back on it. I want to see progression, whether it's, for the good or the bad, if I'm getting better or getting worse. And I will say, and I noticed that I've had other people comment on my first video about this, about cutting out certain foods because they are highly inflammatory. And I'm right there. I am so right there. The first day that I saw my rheumatologist, the very first appointment, I decided that day that I was going to go back on keto, because I know that carbs for me, I can't speak to anyone else and what works for them or their body, but for me personally, and I have a history of this, I know that carbs are highly inflammatory for me, and I've struggled with them. And I think I let the holidays get away with me, or I let myself get away with the holidays, I should say. And I was not eating the best. And I really think that's why I am in this current flare, and why I actually sought out a rheumatologist, because my flare was so bad that, like, there was days I was in tears. And I'm like kicking myself, but grateful at the same time that I did that, because I know that if I had stuck to proper eating for myself, I would not have had that flare. But if I didn't have the flare, I would not have pushed to get a new rheumatologist. And I really think that was the right thing for me to do. But so that day I decided I was going back on keto, ketovore, whatever you want to call it. Some of my meals are completely carnivore, some are more ketovore, and then I do actually have some that are just basic ketogenic. If you're not familiar with those diets, there's a lot of protein involved, a lot of meat-based protein. And I just feel like that is what works best for my body. I have some friends that actually do keto and they're vegan or vegetarian. I think they're vegetarian, not vegan. And they struggle because they don't get as much protein as their body needs. But they have to do what's right for them. Everyone has to do what's right for their own body. And I just know that I need a low inflammatory diet, which means cutting out all of the gluten, starches, sugars, anything like that. Right now, I am, like I said, mostly ketovore to carnivore, though I'm hoping once I get through this flare, which is the worst, probably the worst flare I have had in a decade, I'm hoping to go back to just basic keto, where I can have like some low glycemic berries or some of the things that I wouldn't necessarily be able to have right now. I'm kind of sick of meat. I will be completely honest with you. I am. And, I love some bacon, and I love, steak. I've been eating pork chops like it's my job. Chicken breast, though, you know, if you're doing keto or carnivore, chicken breast is really, it's very low fat, and carnivore tends to be like you need to have more fats. And I have not gotten to that point where I can just eat butter. I know there's some people that do it, and I like butter. I will put butter on things. I can't just straight up eat butter. It's just, that is not me. And I've just been trying to find ways to make meals less boring, because it's hard when you're restricted to meat. Thank God for eggs. I mean, seriously, I've been eating a lot of eggs, and they're stupid expensive right now, like crazy. I am still on dairy. A lot of people will say that dairy can be inflammatory. I personally don't think I've had a reaction to dairy, but I'm going to get through this flare. I am. And then I know on the other side, I am going to kind of try to find like food elimination. Like, how do I want to phrase this? I want to do an elimination diet where I'm eating just like the same thing for a few days, see how I react to it, and then slowly like try this, that, or whatever. Like, I did a bunless burger last week, and I had like less than a teaspoon of regular ketchup. I thought I had died the next morning when I woke up. My whole body was so stiff that I couldn't even get out of bed. It probably took me a good 20 minutes to psych myself up to get out of bed. It was crazy pants. I will not do regular ketchup again. And I did get some sugar-free ketchup, and I did not react as violently to that, which I'm sure because it doesn't have the sugars in it. And I do have this thing for ribs. I absolutely love ribs, but I like barbecue sauce, and that's going to be a struggle. I did find a barbecue sauce, and I want to say it's like Nacho Mama's or something like that, that is sugar-free. I haven't tried it yet, but I intend to, because I kind of want ribs this weekend. So I will have to let you know how that goes with the ribs and the sugar-free barbecue sauce. If you guys have any suggestions, if you guys are doing keto, carnivore, ketovore, anything like that, and you have food suggestions, I'm all ears. I am ready for something a little bit more exciting, because I do eat eggs every single morning. Sometimes I will have sausage or bacon. Sometimes I won't. And at night, I will eat pork chops or chicken or like ground beef. Like tonight I had ground beef and ground pork combined, and I grind my own pork. Ground beef I just buy because I can, but I grind my own pork because my dogs eat pork too. So I just get like these big pork loins, and then I can grind up what I eat, and then I can cut up for my dogs what they need. And so I did that combo with some cheese and some sour cream, like taco seasoning and stuff, which I probably should double check my taco seasoning to make sure that doesn't have sugar in it. But anywho, long story short, I am working on getting my eating under control. I really need to get better at my sleep, but I struggle, and that is, I guess, a fibromyalgia thing. Apparently we all struggle with getting sleep. I feel tired all the time, but when I lay down, I can't sleep. And I've been that way my entire life. So I always thought I just had like insomnia. I didn't know. But I'm learning. I'm learning things, and I'm keeping a positive attitude. And let's see, what else was I going to say? Oh, since I was talking about food, would anybody be interested in like some of the food preparation that I'm going to be doing for myself? I definitely, like I said, I'm doing very keto carnivore type stuff, and I'm going to be working on learning new recipes that fall under keto and carnivore, but that might keep it a little bit more exciting, because I get bored. I get so bored. So if that's something that you guys would be interested in, I would be happy to take my camera out of my bedroom and take it into the kitchen and prepare meals, do meal prep, that kind of stuff, because I find that interesting. I did go to college for nutrition. I did never get my degree because I had kids instead, but I find it very fascinating the whole idea of nutrition. So, you know, if that's something that you guys would be interested in, I would be happy to do that. And who knows, maybe I'll just do it anyway because, again, it's a chronicle for myself and for my kids. So I would like to know what you guys would like to see, but part of me kind of wants to do it just to remind myself to mix it up a little bit because, you know, boredom kind of sucks almost as much as the MRI, but not quite. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because it is getting late. It is after midnight and your girl needs to get some sleep because I'm tired and, you know, I can't be healthy if I don't get good rest for my body. Thank you for watching another episode in my journal of living life with chronic illness.